award-winning Tennessee Wildcast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Wildcast, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
All right.
I had to say that. We are at Academy in Smyrna, and we're happy to be here. It's going to be an exciting show for you today. Don King helping me co-host.
You bet, Jason. Thanks for the invite, and I wore my Academy blue today.
There you
Happens
go.
to be agency shirt, too.
Yeah, mine's a little dark blue, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got Johnny Allred with us from the foundation, and Rick Burleson. He's the regional manager, regional marketing specialist for Academy in this area. So
I appreciate the promotion there.
yeah, I've always wanted to say this show is brought to you by or sponsored by. It's fun.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
And Rick, thanks for opening the doors early and letting us come in and set up in a great store. Well, this is really pretty.
Thank you. It's good to have you all here. Good to see the shelves and racks filling up again after going through everything we were all going through. So it's good to have you all here.
Yeah,
Good deal.
It's great.
So first, I wanted to just talk a little bit about the partnership that we've had going on. If you're a sportsman in Tennessee and you've probably received an email or got some kind of promotion from us and from Academy to get a discount for buying a license.
Exactly. We've worked together for a few years now, but this year we were able to finally really kick off a license renewal program. So win-win for us. Make sure that we're getting folks out into the woods. They're purchasing their licenses, and then again driving some folks to get what they need for be field ready, get whatever they need for hunting, fishing, whatever it ultimately might be.
Yeah. It's been a strange year, as we all know, and I'm sure sales have been up and down, but people have been outdoors, so I'm sure y'all are doing pretty well in the outdoor department.
Yeah, most definitely. We've definitely seen an uptick on that side of the store that is either camping, hiking, hunting, fishing, whatever it might be. Even fitness has been really busy as well. So yeah, it's been rewarding to be a retailer that could help folks. When you're limited on what your options are.
Yep.
That we have what those folks needed was that was a win for us, and hopefully a win for the customer as well.
Yeah. I love Academy. The options are great, from hunting to camping, like you said, and even golf and baseball and things like that. So you got it all right here. So.
I know when I tell my wife or daughter that I'm going to Academy, they always say, "Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. I'm coming with you." So there's something for everybody here, like Jason said. It's great.
Definitely. Well, there was something special you wanted to talk about today, and I'll let you take it from there, Rick.
Yeah, with that partnership, obviously rewarding, hopefully for both our ends. Hopefully it ultimately benefits consumers throughout the state of Tennessee, outdoors enthusiasts. With that, with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Foundation, everything that your officers and staff do to keep everybody in the woods, on the water, safe, Academy Sports and Outdoors just wanted to say thank you. Part of that, we got a little something for you. Right now, here is $10,000 in gift cards for the foundation.
Wow.
Whoa.
The hope is you all are able to use that, spread it out throughout the state. Get folks that, if there's just, different products, whatever you might need to
Absolutely.
get the, it's obviously easy to get the folks that are outdoor enthusiasts into the woods.
Right.
But
And that's something we all have to do is get people who aren't
Exactly. Share that love.
enthusiasts, is to get out and recruit people and get new hunters and new fishermen, new people in the outdoors, and get them used to being in Tennessee and enjoying what we all enjoy.
Right.
So hopefully that'll help
Thank
you all
you
with
very
that
much.
effort.
We'll make sure this goes to good use.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Johnny, how about that?
That's great. That's great.
Christmas come early. Huh?
Yes, it did. Yeah. And people don't realize what the agency and its foundation do throughout the state is just try to do just that. Try to get
Yes.
people into what we all love.
Exactly.
And this will go a long ways to help do that.
Thank you for all
Thank you.
your officers do.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Rick. That's awesome.
Man, that's great.
I knew there was something special happening
What
today,
a
but I didn't
great
know
way
what
to
was-
start the show off, I tell
It
you.
sure is.
That is really good. Where do we go from here?
Well, I guess we could talk hunting. What do you say?
Hey, speaking,
Go ahead.
so many folks have, since the spring when things kind of shut down, people started working from home and had a lot more, I'll say, free time to get outdoors. There's a lot of people kind of looking around saying, "Hey, I've got time to do this now. What do I need?" And I think there's a big hunger for information out there right now. How do I get started?
I mean, everybody needs the basics. I mean, first of all, safety is the first thing. If you're going to be out hunting, no matter what you're hunting with, you're going to hunt with a gun, a muzzleloader, or archery or whatever. I mean, we want you to be safe. If you're hunting with a gun or muzzleloader, obviously, we want everybody wearing, 500 inches orange on your body and on your head. And, so many people now are hunting in tree stands. Yearly we get a call that somebody's has fallen. They've fallen out of a stand, and it's tragic when that happens. I mean, because obviously you're way up there, and when you hit the ground, as we get older, something's going to break. When I was 20, I would bounce when I hit. But that's not the case anymore. So, I mean, there are, we have harness systems now. And if you buy a tree stand here at Academy, most of them come with a harness system. All of them probably come with a harness system. I'm not sure how that works with them, but some of the tripods and some of those things don't. But if you're up there, just get one. If it doesn't come with it, come to Academy Sports, buy you one of these. They're not very expensive. It will save your life. I mean, that's...
Hopefully you're taking, as we talked about, getting, new folks out into the woods.
Yeah.
We've got some for the sizes for youth. So if you're taking some kids out there to get
there you go. I mean,
get interested in hunting and fishing.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is get somebody new out there and get them hurt.
Exactly.
So show them from the very start that let's do it safely. Let's get a harness system on you, and let's get some orange on you, and where anybody can see you. And if you're hunting with a firearm, I tell people all the time, if you're using a firearm for 30, 40 years there hunting, something's going to happen. You're going to have some sort of incident where that shouldn't happen. A mistake's going to happen. So let's be sure it's pointed in a safe direction.
Right.
Keep it in a case. Don't leave it loaded in your truck by any means. I mean, let's be sure we're safe with what we do to cut down on those incidents to keep them from happening.
Starts sounding like a hunter education class.
Well, it does, and I do some
That's
of those
another
classes.
thing. That's another thing that's so important.
That's
for
right.
folks
And
getting
you
started.
can go to TWRA's website and see when those classes are, and get your kids and these new hunters, whether you're a kid or not, a new hunter, get them in these hunter safety classes. It's a really good thing to be in those, and you'll learn a lot of things.
I would even just add to that, it's very important to be safe at home with your firearms.
Oh, yeah.
With Academy Sports and Outdoors, when you buy a firearm, you automatically receive a 10% off on a safe.
Yeah.
So a very important safety notice
That's
as well.
right. A safe in your house just keeps them in a safe place where can anybody just pick them up and do something with them. Lock them up, keep them locked up, keep them in a safe place, no matter where they are.
Mm-hmm. And they always say store that ammunition separately a lot of times,
Sure,
and that kind of thing. So what's some other key things? Say if somebody new to the outdoors, Johnny, what would you tell them that they specifically need to get out there?
Well, your clothing is a big deal. I mean, if you're right now it's pretty comfortable out there, but in the next few weeks it's going to be getting colder, and deer season's fixing to open up.
Yeah,
if you get out there in the morning, the temperature is going to be 30s, 20s, even colder, and to be layered up to where you're comfortable to hunt in the morning, and as it warms up, you can take that jacket off, maybe tie it around your waist or put it in the truck. And so the clothing, they have a huge line of clothing here. I mean, they can fix you up on whatever you need, but just get plenty of stuff to layer up to where you're not freezing to death in a stand up there in the morning. And the same thing at night when you're when you're getting in the stand and it's 60 degrees, you feel pretty comfortable. You feel good about sitting there, and you're all comfortable. But by the time it gets 6 o'clock, that temperature's dropped. And you're sitting there, you're getting colder.
The wind picks up a little bit.
That's right.
And
Be
it
sure
makes
you
a big
got your
difference.
gear. Be sure you got the gear, and they got a good line of boots. Footwear is a big deal hunting because the terrain's different in Tennessee. We got a lot of rocks and things that's around. So, so get something that supports you well. If you're doing a lot of walking and hiking, get some good footwear on you to do that.
And I'd add to that, just keeping track of the weather. As you said, you want to be able to layer, but I remember this time last year it was 80, even I think reached 90s occasionally. So
Right.
a lot of what we were telling folks then is yes, the boots, but especially for snake bites, you wanted a certain type of boot for that.
Yep. Well, something else that I want to make sure we touch on as far as hunting goes, duck season will be here before you know it. So what's some of the things to be thinking about when you're hunting in the water, around
that's
water?
What we talk about all this deer hunting and things like that, and people have got their guns, but people are in boats. People are in boats with shotguns, and they're duck hunting, and sometimes that's their blind. So, the safety in that is a really big aspect of it. I mean, you got somebody sitting 10 feet in front of you, sometimes 5 feet in front of you, depending on how many is in the boat. And those swing shots, when you're swinging around, you have to really, really be conscious of what you're doing. duck hunting, especially in the water, because there's 2 or 3 aspects of that. You know, you don't want to shoot somebody, you don't want to fall in the water either, because I mean the hypothermia can get you really quick, even here in Tennessee. I mean the temperature drops low enough that it can really be a dangerous thing to get wet.
Yeah.
And if that happens, life jacket.
That's right. Life jacket. You got to have a life jacket.
Yeah, you might think you're a pretty solid swimmer, but that can change in a hurry when you have multiple layers on and they're all taking on water. So.
Exactly.
And when that water's 40 degrees,
exactly that.
You really slow down. You're not going to be able to tread water like you think you are, because you're layered up and the water. Your clothes weigh 100 pounds now. That life jacket is absolutely going to save your life if you fall in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and then they make float coats and things like that as well.
Right.
I mean, you can get really in depth with duck hunting. There's a lot of things there.
They got flotation suits that the pants and the jacket both are flotation, and not only does it keep you up in the water, it has a huge warmth to it,
right?
Where you're not wearing to layer up so much in insulation. So it's a really good thing that those flotation suits.
Well, let's talk a little bit about getting kids out there. Gun season is a great time to get them out there, and it's cold, but it's a fun time. Deer are moving, and what kind of gear would you suggest to keep kids comfortable and get them out there? And maybe what would you start them out with? What kind of gun would you start them out with?
Well, I would say something small. A small centerfire rifle, 223 or 243 or something smaller.
Okay.
You don't want the last thing you want to do is make a kid miserable when he's first learning to do this. So you want to be sure he's warm. You want to be sure he's comfortable. You want to be sure something's not going to hit him real hard when he pulls the trigger. I mean, you want it to be minimal. So a small centerfire rifle like that doesn't have a lot of recoil to it, and it's not a memorable hurt to them, because I mean when they put somebody in a 270 or 30-06 the first time they shoot it and they're 10 years old, the next time in their mind they're going, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger. But if it's memorable, teach them with a rimfire. You get out there in the yard, take a 22 or 22 Magnum, and let them learn with that. And they don't have that recoil issue, and they're not scared of it the next time they want to do it. So keep them comfortable and keep them happy. So because you want them to come back, because the demographics are leaving us.
Right.
I mean, we're kind of a dying breed unless we get people recruited and learn what we learned when we were growing up.
Right.
I mean, it's different now. When I was growing up, we all played Little League baseball. But when hunting season come, Little League ended. I mean, that's when now they have fall ball. They have year round. So kids have to want to do this. It's not like everybody does it, that they used to. So they have to learn about it. So make them comfortable, make them happy doing this. We want them coming back. We want them learning about what Tennessee has to offer.
Yeah.
It's funny when you mentioned the fall ball and all that. When I was in high school a few decades ago, we lived in Wyoming, and that's when fall break started. Was hunting season. Yeah. That was the only reason it started right there.
Yeah. And then recently you took a fall break, or I guess you call it a fall break, with your daughter and went out hunting out west. That's cool.
Yeah. We try to go out west hunting. I went to Idaho hunting mule deer, which was unsuccessful. We didn't see a lot of buck mule deer, and I seen some 2 points and some 3 points, and it was a great trip. We had a good time and enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah.
We were in a national forest, just hunting public land, and just enjoyed ourselves. And we come back, and we always try to go elk hunting in Colorado, and we went to Colorado elk hunting, and I harvested one on the last hour of the last day, so it was a last minute thing. But we had a good trip, and to get out with your kids, and no matter how old they are, my kids are grown, but to get out.
That was with your daughter, right?
Yeah. To get out with them, and spend time with them, and there's nothing more memorable than that. Nothing at all. So.
That's great. Whether it's a successful harvest or not, it's always success to be out with family.
Yeah, and it's just a great time to be in the woods.
Yeah.
Even to build on that, I think we all know, whether it's hunting, fishing, even grilling in the backyard, if you get into it, you can really get into it and start those dollar signs start ringing up.
Yeah.
But as we were walking the store earlier, just something I knew, but it quickly reminds me when I walk through is you can get taking your kids out, you can get them comfortable fairly inexpensively.
Sure.
Yep.
Obviously, make sure they're comfortable, make sure they're warm, they're dry, all that.
Right.
At a pretty low price. But then, hopefully you've got them in,
And
you've
we
got
talked
that fire lit in them, and then from there
That's
you
right.
can
We
just,
talked about these tree stands. Not
Exactly.
everybody has to get in a tree stand.
No.
You don't have to go out with a tree stand. I mean, you sell these blinds, these camo blinds. You set them up, and within 2 or 3 days, deer are used to those being there, and get a little folding chair and put inside there, and you can sit with your family, and that you're really comfortable and really inexpensive. And it's not and another aspect we hadn't talked about is everybody now is trying to eat naturally and eat better and make the foods that you eat organic. There's nothing more organic, nothing better for you than to go out in Tennessee and shoot the game that's offered and enjoy it. And it's nothing better for you.
When it got a little colder the other day, we had some venison chili going.
Yeah.
The funny thing, and I wanted to say it was more of a children-oriented device, but it's not. I'd probably be doing the same thing. As I was walking through and I saw a hand warmer, camouflage everything.
Yep.
Open it up, you can still operate your phone.
Of
course that is.
Yeah,
of course that exists.
The woods are a little bit different these days with phones in your hand.
yeah.
That's right.
But, you get to see a little bit more. You capture some of the moments too.
All the better for posting those pictures.
But I mean, it can be a
showing their
benefit too,
friends.
because I mean, before you were, if you unfortunately did fall, or maybe not even from a tree stand, something happens. Hopefully it doesn't. Best you had then was a 2-way radio.
Yeah.
But now hopefully you're at a spot where you can get reception and
Right.
I know two people over the last 3 or 4 years that's probably saved their life and their cell phone.
No, yeah, I've heard the same stories.
They fell and they had a broke vertebra.
Oh, wow.
And they called somebody to come help them.
Well, there you go. I mean, not only the hunting gear, but the cell phone is a good tool for being outdoors.
That's right.
And you mentioned those blinds, and I looked up. We got them right behind us. I don't know
There
if the
you go.
camera's
There you
catching
go,
them or
right
not,
there.
but all kinds of different options
It's
there.
an inexpensive way to get yourself and your family out in the woods and enjoy Tennessee's
And you can be a
bounties.
little bit more social in those too
Yeah,
than,
yeah.
than a tree stand sometimes. You know.
Well, you can put a comfortable chair in there, everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it gives.
Yep.
And if you're bringing a kid that's not used to being out there, they're going to move around and move their
Oh, yeah.
hands, and swing their feet, and things like that. They can do that in there. It's not,
Yeah.
They're not being seen, and it gives them a little more movement, and it's a little more enjoyable to them. Where I remember when my kids were little, every minute and second, I was going, stop,
Yeah.
stop kicking your
I'm the
feet.
same way. And the donut wrapper is not as loud when it's inside there. You know?
That's right.
Let's be honest, you might have something over off to the side showing some football scores too.
That's true. That's true. How about we switch gears to fishing? And Rick, I want to thank you for jumping in here with us this morning, and thank you for this awesome donation.
Thank you, Rick.
To our foundation.
Thank
I
you.
can't think of a better place for it to go.
Well,
Sure.
it'll go to good use, I promise.
Awesome.
Great to
Well, Rick, we're going to let Brandon Simcox come in, our trout guy for the agency. He's going to come in and talk trout fishing with us, and we appreciate it.
No, thank you all very much.
Yeah, thank you, Rick.
Come on over here, Brandon. We'll get you mic'd up, and I'm excited to learn a little bit about trout fishing in Tennessee.
Yeah,
Winter trout's going to be right here around
It's
the corner.
coming up, and the trout trucks will be coming around. And what is the first date, Brandon?
We'll be starting stocking the first week of December.
Okay.
Yep, everything will get kicked off across the state first week of December.
Awesome. So let's tell people about how you decide what you need. It could be relatively inexpensive, right? You can get out there and trout fish for the winter trout program.
You can.
On a small dollar.
A lot of people really think, about trout fishing. You get this image of like a river runs through it, guy shadow casting with a fly rod in the middle of a big stream, wearing waders. And,
Like Johnny.
Yeah.
There's only certain gear you can wear if you do that, too.
Yeah.
You have to wear Orvis gear, use a sage rod, it's everything's...
and especially for the winter trout, and really a lot of our trout resources across the state, you definitely don't need to do that. A lot of us get started using like a traditional just push button.
I got this one.
Yeah, like a
Rod and reel, Zepco,
Yeah.
Something like that. And that is literally, a good start. You can get a combo like this from anywhere from like $15 to $20,
Right.
really inexpensive to really jump in to do some trout fishing across the state. And then a lot of people will step over to more of a spinning rod, a spin cast rod. Takes a little bit more getting used to, but it's again another simple, you can get these for $15 to $20 for a combo.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, that really gets you started. And then
for your young guys, you can get those with the Disney characters on and stuff, can't you?
I mean, I've got a few of them in my house.
Okay, all right.
I like to take them out every once in a while. But then, you think about, okay, a lot of fly fishermen, there's all these different kinds of flies. You got to match the hatch. You always hear that, especially with trout fishing. And again, for especially the winter trout, I personally keep it to really 3 tactics. I use dough baits or salmon eggs, any kind of like inline spinner, like a rooster tail, something like that, and then trout jigs. And so, like we got here, like these trout magnet trout jigs, you can get a pack of this that has the hooks and the bait for like $1.90 or something like that. It's super cheap, and you can go catch a lot of trout just using these.
And that one bait's not, you don't use just one bait for one catch. You may lose the bait on one, but most time you can use that, keep using it,
over and over.
For sure.
That little pack right there will get you for 3 or 4 hours.
Oh yeah, I mean there's 7 baits in here, 2 hooks. You're ready. They also sell another one here that has the hooks. It has floats for you too, different colors. And again, it's just a few bucks, and you can literally go out and catch trout. A lot of these rods and reels come with a little bit bigger line on them. Some of the combos that already come pre-wound.
Yeah.
And so I do like to step the line down a little bit so I can cast some of these lighter baits. So a lot of these will come with like 8 to 10 pound tests a lot of times, and I'll usually drop it down to about 4 to 6 pound. Just so I can get some of these lighter baits cast out there, and even if I'm having a hard time, then I'll add just a little bit of split shot on there to add a little bit of weight to the bait to be able to cast it out. But a lot of people like using salmon eggs. There's all kinds of brands out there. There's this Magic Baits. There's Potski, Power Bait, all kinds of stuff. They work really extremely well.
Yeah.
I personally like fishing eggs and these dough baits. These dough baits, actually, you can just ball them up. You pull a little pinch out, ball it up, put it on a hook.
Big as you want kind of thing, or yeah.
And they'll float. They'll help float off the bottom. So a lot of times with these, I actually won't use a cork or anything on that. I'll just throw it out with some split shot on a small, either like Aberdeen hook. This is a size 10. And again, all these things are under a few bucks, to pick them up. I mean,
and all available at Academy.
Yeah. All available here. We went and ransacked the shelves as we were getting set up.
Now watch him, Ricky may put that in his pocket. So
yeah. I do need to stock back up.
Hey, and Brandon, we're not talking catch and release here.
No. For these winter trout sites, we stock all across the state. So our native trout habitat, where trout live year round, is mainly in East Tennessee, and then some of our tailwaters,
right,
into Middle Tennessee. So as the water temperatures start to warm back up in the spring and summer, into the summer, these fish won't be able to hang on. So we encourage folks to harvest fish. It's a 7-fish creel limit. There's no size limit. So definitely go out, catch fish and take them home for the grill. I like to smoke them. So it's
just about any way you cook them. You can't hardly go wrong.
Hard to mess up a trout.
Yeah.
Really
yep.
Now, do they stock some bigger ones too? Some of those trophy size?
We do, yep. So we'll mix in a few fish. I mean, up to 5 pounds in there.
Wow.
On the truck. So, the majority of the fish that we're stocking are between 10 to 12 inches is a typical stocker size. But yeah, we've got some really big fish that go in there. I personally can't ever catch them, but I've seen plenty of those fish being caught. And it's certainly exciting to see somebody catch a 5-pound trout. But yeah, it's like I said, it's getting cranked up 1st of December. A lot of those stockings are the early stockings will kind of be West Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. And we've got stockings as far east as, for this winter trout program, as Knoxville, Maryville.
Okay.
So they're spread out all across the state.
And they're all in bodies of water that are very accessible to folks, too.
For sure. That's something that we really prioritize for this program especially. They're in a lot of community parks, city parks with benches, pavilions, manicured banks all the way around. And then we do stock some streams that are, really have similar access, very manicured, easy access. Those fish are really easy to target.
Right.
So a lot of those streams have TWA boat ramps and kayak ramps. You can put right into it too.
Yep. So it's very accessible for somebody.
So tell folks how they can find the information on where the stockings are happening.
Yep. So the schedule is posted on our website, tnwildlife.org. You can go to the the fisheries page, and then there's a link in there for trout fishing reports. And you can go on there. You can see the winter trout schedule, pull it up. And for the winter trout schedule, we actually announce the day of that we're going to be stocking. So you can go on there, see it, and you can, if you want to, you can be there waiting on
Follow
the
the truck.
Yeah.
Grab your rod and run.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. They'll sit there and wait, and they know that truck's coming. They're right there and casting right into when the fish come out.
Yeah, and if you don't know where those locations are, there's a couple ways of finding out. You can actually just click on the name within the schedule, and it'll pull up a map zoomed in right to that location. You can click on that. It'll pull up. You can get directions.
That's really handy.
Link to Google.
Yeah.
And then we also have just a fishing access map on the trout page, and then also just on the main web page. And you can zoom in to, Nashville if you're there, and you'll start seeing these stockings, pop up around the location.
That's neat.
What kind of license does the folks need for this?
So there's a few licenses that you can really have. You can have, of course, your sportsman's license that will cover everything. You can have a day of or a 1 day license, all fish. You can have your annual combo license with a trout permit. So there's a few ways you can get after it.
A lot of options there. And one thing that we've talked about clothing for hunting, but do you suggest any clothing for not just the winter trout stocking, but for trout fishing in general? What kind of clothing are you looking for?
I guess it really depends on the tactics that you're using for winter trout. I'm just throwing on my hunting overalls and trying to just, bundle up and stay warm. You go out to some of our spring stream stockings. That schedule's on the website as well, and that'll get cranked up kind of in February and run through really the fall. If you want to hop in the streams when it's still cool out, grabbing a cheap pair of waders, you can do that. Or if
Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Yeah, or you can just throw on some tennis shoes and hop in and start wet wading and get after it.
Keep it simple.
Yep, awesome. That's what I like to do. Keep it simple.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the shorts and tennis shoes option. That's always fun.
Yeah.
So, it's been a fun show about winter hunting and fishing.
Yeah.
If you don't know what to get and what to do now, then we'll email us. We'll help you out.
The season is here. Get out and enjoy Tennessee.
Yeah.
And if you're listening and you missed out on that discount that got announced with our partnership with Academy, get on our mailing list. That's why you didn't get it.
Yeah.
Because everybody who's on our list gets those offers.
Yep. And there's also some great refer a friend options to get discounts and things out there too. So make sure you check out our website, tnwildlife.org. If you want to buy a license, you need to buy a license at gooutdoorstennessee.com. And we appreciate Rick, Johnny, Brandon.
Thank you.
And Don.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time on Tennessee Wildcast.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee Wildcast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.